So now we are going to create this very simple calculator using HTML, CSS and the JavaScript over here, and based on the user input, the calculator will carry out the mathematical expression. So guys, as you can see, we have provided 15 plus 4, and then when we click on equal to operator, you can see that we are getting the result as 19. Now guys, this is a very simple mathematical expression that we are carrying out. Let us see whether this calculator handles the complex calculation as well. So when we provide 15 followed by plus, we provide 5 followed by multiplication and then 5 again. So ideally what should be the output of this particular expression? So first of all, this multiplication should be carried out first before carrying out the plus operation over here. So 5 multiplied by 5 will give us 25 followed by plus 15 should give us 40 in this case, and when we press equal to, as you can see, we are getting 40 in this case. So guys, this calculator will handle the complex mathematical expression as well. So let us create this simple JavaScript calculator. So let us create a new folder inside the projects folder in this case. So we have this simple calculator folder that we have created. Inside this we are going to create the three files, that is index.html, style.css file and the script.js file as well. So we have created all the three files over here. Now basically inside the index.html file, let us create the basic structure of the HTML, and we will provide the title of the document as simple calculator. Now guys, apart from this, also let us link the style.css file and the script.js file as well to this particular HTML file. So we have provided the link tag over here, and we have referenced the style.css file in this case under the href attribute. Apart from this, just before the ending body tag over here, let us also provide the script tag, for which we will have the src attribute, that is the name of the JavaScript file that we are going to use. Now guys, both these files are present inside the same folder, and that is why we just have to provide the file name over here as the href and the src attribute values. Now guys, what we have to do is, let us simply provide the heading, that is simple calculator over here. So we are making use of the h2 tag over here inside the HTML. Apart from this, we will also have the div tag with the class container. So let us create the div tag with the class container in this case. Also, let me just open the calculator that is present on the Windows currently. So basically we are going to refer to the layout of this particular calculator. So in the first row, we are going to provide this 7, 8, 9 numbers. Apart from that, we are also going to provide the multiplication symbol. We are not going to include these buttons, as you can see, since it is going to be a very simple calculator that we are going to implement at the beginner level. So guys, over here what we have to do is, simply we will have another div tag with the class buttons over here, and inside this we are going to have the input tag, which will be of the type button in this case. So as you can see, input tag along with the type button, and for the first button we are going to provide the value as 7 over here. So let us provide the value 7 in this case, and similarly we will duplicate this line of code 4 times so that we can have the other values of the button over here. So simply we will provide the value as 8 for the next button, followed by 9, and then we have the multiplication symbol. As you can see, this is the sequence of buttons that is present for this particular calculator. Let me just save this file now. Let us see how it looks like on the browser. So let me just click on the go live button. So our calculator is looking in this way right now. Guys, over here one important thing that we have missed out is the text area that we can use in order to display the numbers that are provided by the user when the user clicks on the button. So guys, just before the button class over here, and within the container class of the div tag, what we have to do is, simply we can make use of the text area tag so that we can provide the input that is provided by the user over here, and simply we will provide the name and the ID attribute as the text area in this case. Let me just save this file now, and let us now see how it looks like on the UI. So as you can see, when the user clicks on any of the button over here, the content of the button should be displayed inside this particular text area, and that is how we are going to design our simple calculator. Now guys, apart from this, let us also duplicate the other buttons as well. So over here we have the other buttons. Let me just refer to this calculator. We have 4, 5, 6 and the minus symbol over here. So simply we will say 4, 5, 6, and then we have the minus symbol. Then next we have 1, 2, 3, and then in the end we have the plus symbol over over here. So simply instead of multiplication we have plus, and then at the last row what do we have? We have the plus and minus icon. So instead of this we are going to have the C button in order to clear the entire content of the text area. So let me just provide C in this case in order to clear the content of this particular text area that we have defined inside the calculator. Apart from this, the other buttons will be 0, dot and the equal to. So let me just provide those values as well. So we have 0, dot, and then in the end we have the equal to button. Let me just save this file now and let us see how it looks like on the UI. So this is the way that our simple calculator is looking like. Now guys, let us provide certain styling properties as well so that our calculator looks little more decent. So what we have to do is simply I'm going to make use of the container class over here in order to provide the styling to the entire container, that is the calculator. So guys, over here simply let us provide the width of 150 pixels over here, and also I will provide the background color as the yellow color over here. Let me just save this file now. Let us see how it looks like. So as you can see, we have the background color for this particular calculator. Apart from this, let us also provide certain padding in this case so that we have the space in between the background color and the elements inside the container over here. So this is the way that our container is looking like. Now guys, apart from this, what we have to do is also we will provide the width to the text area as well so that this particular box is within the div container. So simply we are going to provide the text area tag, since this is the only tag in our HTML file. So guys, over here we will provide the width as 130 pixels because we have the padding of 10 pixels over here which will be applied on the left and right of the text area. So when we save this file now, so as you can see, our text area is within the div container right now. Apart from this, also we will make use of the display it is equal to flex for the entire container, and when we save this file now, this is the way that our calculator will look like, but this is not what we want to achieve. So guys, over here by default the flex direction of this particular div tag is having the row value. So instead of that we are going to set it as column. So when we save this file now, so as you can see, this is the way that it is looking right now. Apart from this, in order to get all the elements at the center of the div container over here, simply we can make use of the align items over here, and then we will provide the value as center. So when we save this file now, you can see that all these buttons are now at the center. Now guys, apart from this, let us also provide the width and height for all these buttons as well. So over here what we will do is simply we will provide the buttons class that is present for this particular div tag, and within this particular class we have the input tags over here. So we can simply use the greater than symbol and then provide the input tag over here, for which we can provide the width and height in this case. So let me just try out setting the width and height as 30 pixels over here. So as you can see, this is the way that our buttons are getting displayed right now, and also we want a certain margin to be present at the top and the bottom of the buttons. So guys, what we can do is simply we can provide the margin attribute over here, and let us provide 5 pixels followed by 0 pixels on the left and right hand side. So as you can see, we are now getting the margin of 5 pixels at the top and the bottom of all these buttons. Also we will provide the text align property as center over here so that the content of all the buttons are at the center of the button. Now guys, apart from this, what we will do is over here at the main container, simply we are going to provide the margin attribute as auto so that the entire calculator can be at the center of the screen over here, and the same property needs to be applied to the h2 tag as well. So over here simply we will provide the h2 tag, since the h2 is representing the simple calculator heading over here, and we will provide the margin as auto in this case so that the heading is also at the center of the screen now. So currently the margin is equal to auto is not working for h2. That's because the heading is taking the entire width of the screen by default, and if we are not providing certain width to a specific element, then this margin auto will not work. So guys, this is one of the important lessons over here. So instead of this, we will simply provide text align it is equal to center over here. So now as you can see, the heading is at the center of the screen now. Apart from this, let us also provide certain border and the border radius to the container. So simply we will provide border of 1 pixels, solid black color in this case, and also we will provide the border radius, it is equal to 10 pixels this time, so that it looks more decent over here. So as you can see, we have successfully provided certain styling attributes to the entire container, that is the calculator. Now guys, the most important thing is when the user clicks on any of these buttons, those numbers or the mathematical symbols that you can see should be displayed inside the text area. So how we can do that? So simply let us move to the script.js file over here, and first of all let us get all the HTML elements that are represented by these buttons, that is the input tags. So guys, simply what we will do is we will make use of the document followed by dot, and then we will make use of the query selector all in order to get the multiple HTML elements, that is the input elements, and then from those elements, based on the click of the user, we will get the value of those buttons as well. So simply inside the query selector all, since this is a function, we need to provide the selector in this case. So what will be the selector? Since the buttons are present inside this particular div tag over here, which is having the class buttons in this case, let me just copy the class name, and then we provide dot followed by buttons, and then after this we can simply make use of the greater than symbol, and we want to get the input tag inside this buttons class. And guys, this is the way that we can get all the input buttons inside the buttons class over here. Apart from this, let us also store all these buttons inside the variable. So let me just provide the buttons variable in this case. Now after this, it is a very good practice in order to check whether our line of code is properly working or not. So let me just provide the console.log statement over here, and simply we will provide the buttons variable in order to print this on the console of the browser. So guys, let me just open the console section of this browser. So as you can see, we have the node list of 16 input items over here. So all these are the input tags that are present and are identified by this particular JavaScript line of code over here, which we are displaying using the console.log statement. Now guys, how do we get the value of any of the button over here? So as you can see, I have expanded the fifth button in this case. This is the index of this particular input element. You can see on the left hand side that number 5 is getting highlighted when we get the mouse on this particular input. So how do we get the value 5 over here? So simply let me just scroll down, and we should be having a property that is value over here in order to get the value of this particular button. So when we scroll down up to the end of this particular list, so as you can see, we have the value property which we can use in order to get the content of the button over here. So guys, what we need to do is we have to make use of this buttons variable in order to get a specific button that will be clicked by the user. So we have the buttons followed by dot, and then since it is a node list over here, so if you remember, in this case we are getting the node list, which is the list of HTML elements. We have to iterate through all these buttons, and then we need to check which of the button is clicked over here. So simply we will make use of the for each method over here, which takes the callback function. So as you can see, this is the callback function that we have to provide. So simply we will provide the callback function, and then we will provide one parameter. So let us say we provide the button over here, and then we have the arrow function in this case. So this is the way that we provide the callback function. We can simply remove the parenthesis as well, since we are only having one parameter over here. Now guys, what is the functionality of the for each method? So basically when we make use of the for each method along with the node list over here, so each item inside the buttons will be used, and it will go through the code that we are going to write inside these open and close curly braces over here. So one at a time, all these buttons will go through the for each method in this case. So currently the value of the first button, that is 7 over here, will be stored inside the button, and then we can check whether this button is clicked or not. So basically we have to provide a button followed by dot, and if the button is clicked, the add event listener will come into picture. So we have the add event listener, and the event that we are going to listen to is the click option in this case, followed by the callback function that we have to provide. So once again we will provide the arrow function over here, and before carrying out any of the operations, let us provide the console.log statement over here, and let us see what is the value of the button that is clicked by the user. So we have to provide button followed by dot, and then as we have seen, the value property is the one that is having the value of the button over here. So simply we will provide button followed by dot, and then we have the value. So let me just save this file now. Let us see what happens when we click on the button. So when we click on this button that is having the value as 7, as you can see, we have the 7 value getting displayed, followed by the 8 value, and we have the number 2, 3, plus, equal to, and so on. Based on what button is clicked by the user, the required value is getting displayed over here. And then guys, we have to make use of that value in order to display it inside the text area over here. So how do we do that? So first of all, we need to get the text area as well. So simply we will provide the document.query selector over here, and inside the parenthesis we have the text area, that is the tag in this case, and let us store it inside the variable. So we have the text area variable as well, and apart from this we will also make use of the string over here, which will be an empty string initially, in order to store all the buttons or the expression that will be created by the user over here based on the button clicks. So guys, in this case we have provided the string, it is equal to an empty string over here. Now what we have to do is we need to handle certain situations wherein if the user clicks on the C button, the entire input should be cleared. So how do we do that? Simply we will make use of the if condition over here, and we will say button dot value, is it equal to the character that is C, and if yes, then simply we will provide str, it is equal to empty string in this case. So guys, basically we are going to set the value of this string into this particular text area HTML element in the end. Apart from this, we also want the equal to button in order to carry out certain operation, that is calculate the expression that is provided by the user. So when we say 5 plus 5, and then when we click on the equal to button, we should get the sum of those numbers over here. So how do we do that? Simply we will provide the else if section in this case, and then we will say button followed by dot, and then we have value, is it equal to the character that is equal to over here. Notice that we are making use of 3 times equal to in this case, so that the left hand side and the right hand side, they are also checking the data type as well, and on the right hand side we are providing the string values over here. And when the user presses on equal to, what we have to do is we have to make use of the eval function. So guys, if you notice, this is the function that evaluates JavaScript code and executes it. It is one of the important functions when you are creating a simple calculator. So basically whatever expression will be present inside this text area, that expression will be executed as the JavaScript code, and whatever answer is there, it will be stored inside the variable. So what we have to do is we need to provide the parameter as a string value, which will be present inside this particular str variable. So simply we will provide the str variable, and we have to provide the result into another variable over here. So simply let me just set the result into this str variable over here. We are getting the error, that's because we are trying to declare the str variable once again. So as you can see, the str will also have the result as well after the user provides the mathematical expression and clicks on the equal to button. And then guys, apart from this, all the other buttons should be appended one after another based on what the user is providing as input to the simple calculator. So we have to come to the else part over here, and simply whatever button is clicked, we just need to append it to the string variable this time. So simply we will provide button followed by dot, and then we have the value. So guys, one at a time, the button value will be appended to the string variable over here, and then in the end what we have to do is this particular value inside the string needs to be displayed inside the text area. So simply we will provide text area followed by dot, and then we have something called as inner HTML in order to set the data inside the text area over here. So it is equal to str value, that is evaluate evaluated with this particular function. So guys, let me just save this file now. Let us see what will be the output when the user provides a certain mathematical expression over here. So when we click on the button 2 over here, as you can see, we are getting 2 in this case. And once again, let me just provide the number 3. So we are getting 23 over here. And when the user clicks on the plus button, we are getting the plus symbol in this case. And then let us say we click on the button 5 over here. So the 5 number is getting displayed over here, and this is one of the valid mathematical expression. So when we add these two numbers, that is 23 plus 5, we should be getting 28 over here. So when we click on the equal to button, as you can see, we are getting 28. Since we are using the eval function over here and we are storing the result inside the string variable, which is getting set inside the text area in this case. So we have tested the plus button over here. Let us test the clear button as well. So when we click on the C button over here, the entire content is cleared. Now let us check the minus operation as well. So let us provide 56 minus 5 over here. So 56 minus 5, it should be 51. When we click on equal to, as you can see, we are getting 51 over here. Let us clear the result. Let us provide the multiplication now. 6 multiplied by 8 and then equal to, we are getting 48 as the result. So guys, this is the way that a simple calculator works based on the mathematical expression that is provided by the user over here, and we can simply get the result of the expression. Now guys, does this calculator handle the complex expression? Let us check that as well. So when we provide 15 and then provide a plus operator followed by 10, and then we provide the multiplication operator, and then let us say we provide 4 over here. So ideally, what should be the result? So guys, in this particular expression, 10 multiplied by 4 should be calculated first, followed by the addition of the 15 number. So 10 multiplied by 4 should be 40, followed by 15, followed by plus 15 over here, which should be 55. So guys, this is the correct answer that we should get, that is 55 over here. So when we click on the equal to operator, as you can see, we are getting 55 over here. So basically, the simple calculator also handles the complex mathematical expressions as well, and it prioritizes which operations are supposed to be carried out first over here. So let us check another example in this case. So 15 multiplied by 2 plus 30 multiplied by 2. So what should be the answer? 15 multiplied by 2 should be 30, and then 30 multiplied by 2 should be 60. So 60 plus 30 should give us 90 over here, and when we press equal to, as you can see, we are getting 90 in this case. So guys, comment in the comment section below whether you have learned something out of this video. Please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to the channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, stay tuned.